Well, right now we're joined by Professor Anshu Joshi from the School of International Studies, JNU, to take their deliberations, especially on the 3-day visit that the External Affairs Minister is having in Singapore and the talks that he's had, the interactions that he's had with the people there. Professor Joshi, good evening. Welcome to News Hour. Let me first begin by asking, the External Affairs Minister's thoughts on China and Pakistan in particular. This is for the first time that the External Affairs Minister has minced no words, in describing the position that India has on both the neighboring countries.
Definitely, Anil, whenever it comes to our External Affairs Minister, I would say that he does not mince his words. Whenever it comes to the matter of China, or for that matter, Pakistan, or for that matter, terrorism, he always gives a very clear message, and he has done that from different significant multilateral platforms also. While speaking in Singapore and during this very important visit, that would certainly be proved as a fruitful one in mustering the kinetic energy of India to bring along the like-minded nations like Singapore, or for that matter Philippines and Malaysia, not only to promote India's bilateral relations, but also to ensure regional security and global good. And here, when our External Affairs Minister mentioned the matter of China and Pakistan, definitely he indicated towards an issue related to regional security, as all of us know that how Chinese maneuverings have not only caused a major threat to the regional security of Indo-Pacific region, but by and large by promoting terrorism, what Pakistan has done to the entire world. And when it comes to these three countries, Singapore, Malaysia and Philippines, Anil, we also know that how all these three countries have their own separate territorial disputes with China. And Singapore has been slamming China time and again for entering into its maritime space, or for that matter, what it is doing in this Spratly Islands. Philippines also had the similar kind of issues with China, and Malaysia also has similar issues with China. So while explaining what China does to the world or to the regional security, definitely our external affairs minister indicated towards building up a momentum strategically among all these nations, so that the neutrality, stability and peace of this region should remain stable.
Professor Joshi, when one gets the sense of, the tightrope walking that Russia needs to do, now that there is a shift in focus or a shift in attention from a special military operation to a war that Russia or Kremlin indicates, do you see the sense that, Russia needs to keep all its neighbors, pretty close to, serving its interest? And that's something, that clearly indicates that, the relationship that Vladimir Putin and Narendra Modi enjoys goes beyond, time-tested. It's time-tested and goes beyond all expectations.
Definitely, Anil. And when we bring Russia into the debate, we have to keep different dimensions open for the discussion. And we cannot look only into India-Russia bilaterals, where we see a very comfortable, partnership, a natural partnership for years. And when we look at this relationship from China's angle, many experts raise exclamation marks. But as an expert, I always believe that the kind of relationship the two nations enjoy, whenever it would come to like India and China, I think Russia would play a neutral role. Coming to the war, when we look at the war that is going on between Ukraine and Russia, here it's a tightrope for Putin, definitely. Anil, and India has so far taken a very neutral stand. But we should also not forget that it is not a war between Ukraine and Russia. I always look at this war as in a war between Russia and NATO, led by United States of America.
Perfect.
So when the war started, Biden actually had a pivotal role in this entire war. And now when the race for this presidential elections is on in United States of America, if there would be any change in the leadership, the situation may change related to this war as well.
Professor Joshi, when one takes a look at especially Russia and India's friendship, that's grown over the years, do you get the sense that the External Affairs Minister was indicating or asking West to mind its own business, while the countries, especially like-minded countries, continue to strengthen or go from, block to block, building this relationship and taking it forward?
Definitely, and I would like to recall the moment when our External Affairs Minister stated similar kind of a thing when he was having a dialogue with Ursula von in Raisina dialogue. It was
True.
I think, a year or 2 years back when we were warned by Ursula von that we should stop taking oil and gas from Russia. And that was the reaction from our External Affairs Minister, and he was appreciated by all the like-minded nations at that point in time. And that is what he has been stating, that it's like a new era, it's like new time, which belongs to Asia, which belongs to the emerging economies, which belongs to the developing nations of Africa, Latin America and Asia. And when we bring this matter of good bilaterals, or I would say natural partnership between India and Russia, India has been able to successfully execute its neutral and all aligned, I would say, foreign policy in past couple of years, wherein we clearly mentioned that we are no more non-aligned, we are all aligned, and that's where we are able to maintain a good relationship with Russia while starting a new chapter of strategic partnership with the United States of America. And US also understands it very well, and I think it has accepted this partnership between India and Russia.
Professor Joshi, when one takes a look at different pulls and pressure that every country in today's times face, looking at two armed conflicts that we are seeing on two sides taking place, one in Israel and the other between Russia and Ukraine, do you get the sense that, people questioning, especially friendship between nations, need to look at a bit of history and also the challenges that are before the countries, especially when they extend the olive branch?
I mean, it's a very good question, and it takes me to the concepts of international relations, what I teach in Jawaharlal Nehru University. And when we take a look at global politics, it's a very complex world wherein things keep changing, very dynamically. And we live in a world that is multipolar. It is no more a bipolar or unipolar world. And at the same time, it's a world of complex interdependence, wherein nations align with each other due to or on the basis of their own national interests and their priorities. And the nature of different leaders also play a critical role here. But we should also not forget that bilaterally and multilaterally, things keep changing. As in, the regional and global situations change. So on one hand, we are observing this Russia-Ukraine war. It is going on, and we couldn't stop it despite having different multilateral platforms and vehicles like United Nations. And on the other hand, this another war zone has opened between Israel and Hamas. So considering these issues and what is going on in Indo-Pacific, we cannot ignore that as well. So considering that, definitely here India is taking a role of a pioneer, wherein it is continuously spreading the message of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and it is coming up with a message that instead of preferring the way of competition or conflicts, we should choose the way of collaboration. And with that, a lot of like-minded nations are joining this mission. So I hope that in next couple of months, with again the changing political scenarios in different nations, I think the situation would change for good, of course.
Well, we'll leave it there. Thank you. Appreciate you joining us. Professor Anshu Joshi, as always, taking time out, being with our audience there on DD India.